Okay, so let's see here. There's this little black plate thing, right? No black plate thing. It's a little black plate, plastic. The screw in the washer. And we aren't going to glue this plate on yet. Okay? We want to make sure that this wing fits and that we're able to get this to thread into that bolt down there. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is, before I do this, wow, it's pretty tight. Remember, we put this part on in the front so it fits here. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing blocking my nut down here. And wow. It doesn't like to go into there for some reason. Interesting, eh? Is that on it? That couldn't be very much fun, you know. If we had problems with this at the beginning. Interesting. I don't know why it's jamming up in there. Huh? Interesting. Almost got a little bit of glue in the thread, see? Good thing I checked, eh? Because there's nothing wrong with that at all. It threads in nice. It's just that there was a little bit of glue in the threads, so it didn't want to get started. Now that it goes in good. Go back and fit the front of the wing on again. Those two holes. Oh, that's straight down to that hole. I can see straight through to that. So, just test fit this. Why doesn't that thread in? I know it will. Still stiff? That's all it is. It's tight. Because once the wing's on, right, we won't have to move that. Oh man, look. Oh. That's pretty cool, man. I like this front tire up here. I do. I'm just gonna steer. Man, they don't steer very good, but hey, they're little tiny wheels. I'm supposed to have the wheels on the back, but I didn't put them on yet. I guess I could. Just sit that a little bit higher. Now that we have the wing on, right, to test, now we can work with this and get this tail section on and get these measurements right, because you want to measure from, like say, right from this corner to that corner, and then from this corner to this corner, make sure they're identical, right? Well, they have it to the center. To here? Really? Okay. They do it weird. I don't understand why I had to put the wing on. I could use the bolt hole. Because in here you see it says, put the wing on, and then to go to the center, where the screw is, just into that tail. But I've always been taught to make it plain square. So if I take a measure from here to there and from there to there, when I glue this, and then just, I guess, snug it forward. Yep, that'll be enough down and up. And slide it forward right there. What I'm going to do too is I want to measure across here, and we will find the center. Here I are. Well, I'm going to put the glasses on so I can see. Just put a little mark there in the front. And one in the back. Okay. So that's my center line. I can see a little bit that when it's centered, I know that's centered now, so I just have to measure my side to side when I glue it down. I'm not going to use their glue for this. I am going to use 5-minute epoxy. That I is going to do. So I'll take like this, a long tape measure or something, right? We'll start at the 10 here, come in centimeters, and I'll measure from that edge Oh, I should do it in millimeters, shouldn't I? Yes. All right. Centimeters. Millimeters? Centimeters, not inches. So we'll go right there to there's 41, 42, 400 millimeters. There's what? 41 and a half. And now I'm going to measure the other side. So let's try their way and see if it's any different. Okay, so from the center, I go, well, that's hard to read because it's not in the, right there, and from there to there. So that's just about square. I just have it centered. Okay. Wow, they do that pretty good. So if I just have it up tight, it's just about perfect. We'll epoxy it, do a little fine tuning, and we'll be right back. So, epoxy mixed. I'm not going to put it on the wing. I'll put it on the body because don't know. There we go. Very nice coverage here. Isn't that strange, eh? This is 5-minute epoxy. And it's crystal clear. And just for a second, we can look at the 15-minute epoxy. It's yellow. Interesting, eh? Okay, so let's get this on here. We think it's centered. We know it's centered. And oh, I got that down good in the epoxy. Okay, so we'll take a measurement here from that screw to the start of the curve. It's 2.5. And from that screw, start of the curve 2.5. So now we just have to gently hold it for 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video now. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Oh wow. One little thing I forgot to mention when we're gluing this. You can probably see from there. I want that tail not just to be square this way to the wing, you know, like this way, from here to here to here to here, but I want it to be level. You see what I mean? How the tail is level with the wing? I think. We'll push this side down a little bit. There, see? Yeah. The tail is level with the main wing. Okay? So, I just wanted to mention that. We want it to be measured, square, and make sure it's level properly. Tail's done, so now we're going to get the elevator ready. It's ready now, we got to take that, we got to glue that in there. So, I'm going to mix a little bit more 5-minute epoxy. I like their glue, but this would have to set overnight. And I think I want to do some more work to it, so I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy instead of their glue. Okay, got my epoxy mixed. Now, again, I'm going to apply this on in here, and not my wing, or my rudder, you might say, part. Because I really don't want my rudder getting covered in epoxy, or having it all where I don't need it. Okay, so we're putting along the edges here. Remember, don't get any on your wiring here, whatever you do. This darn, it will make it gum up. We don't need that on your elevator or your rudder controls. So I'm not going to put any glue by that part. Be plenty in these other areas to hold this in. Okay? So, we have it well glued here. We have glue in the back. Let's get this a little bit more here. Okay? Now it's going to be crucial. This guy stands up perfectly straight. So, oh no, there's my ruler. Well, I have one here. Here we go. There's a wire in the way there. So I'm going to go here and look, see? You gotta check it with the square. Make sure it's square. Over here. I should use another wire in the way. Well, I can fix that, can't I? For this moment, oh, I push through. I push it far enough. Oh, yes, I can. So we can go and we can check here. See, it's leaning that way a bit. This proves it. From here. Right there. Test over here. Okay. That was about perfect. Oh, hang on. It's falling this way every time I let go. So, I'm going to put a little weight on the nose of the plane here to hold it down. And I'm just going to set this here. Just like that. Can you see what I've done? So, while that epoxy sets, I'm just going to make sure that my tail stays perfectly square straight up and down. Okay. Well, when we come back, next video is we're going to start doing the electronics.